Peace, 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 peace. All right now. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. If y'all can hear me, let me know, because I'm not talking that loud. We ain't gonna be going super ham tonight. If you can hear me, let me know. Welcome to the fifth installment of Melanin Mondays. Definitely, pleasure to be here with the family. Salute to everybody. This is the fifth installment of Melanin Mondays. Okay, y'all hear me? Great. And, we're going to chop it up tonight. I'm not going to be here that long and whatnot. But we're going to talk about some things. Afrofuturism. We're going to chop up some things. We're going to chop it up. You know what I'm talking about? I did the Black Panther analysis. I'm not certified to do the Black Panther decoded because my younger brother, KT, the arch degree, that's actually his job. And I don't want to step on his toes. I did about 3 videos already touching on Black Panther. It's a lot of people. I just was listening to Panic's video. Somebody was able to record his video and save it. And it's on YouTube under BP Talks About BP. So BP is short for brother. I guess they can't put his whole name out there because apparently YouTube might be targeting his name. And they took his video down when he did the Black Panther breakdown. And they took it down and they said the reason why they took it down, they said it promoted hate. So YouTube or the media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, those are the platforms or those are the outlets where independent news has been lives. You know what I'm saying? That's where independent news has been able to reach millions of people. Or let's just keep it a buck. That's where consciousness lives. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Is there conscious people on Snapchat? Because every time I go on Snapchat, I just see tits and ass. Like I don't, and niggas smoking weed and what. I don't see too much consciousness on Snapchat. So there's a killmonger policy on these platforms right now. And the killmonger policy is they're declaring a subtle war on the thought leaders. They're declaring a subtle war on a specific kind of speech. They're labeling it hate speech. It's not what it is. You understand? That's not what it is. They're labeling it hate speech, but it's not hate speech. They're targeting people who are speaking about different topics and subjects with a certain kind of vernacular, right? I guess I could say profanity, but when you go on YouTube, there's profanity everywhere on YouTube. The Ratchets are cursing, the rappers are cursing, Tekashi 6ix9ine, he's cursing sometimes. The Bloods and the Crips that are looking for him, they're cursing. Bosco 100 is cursing, so it's not that there's curse words being used, and I have to be mindful about my vernacular and, my choice of words and whatnot. So, I was going to put together, I was going to have a swear cup. Every time I said a curse, I was going to put a nickel in there, but I don't know about that. I just have to be more cognizant of my language because I have children and, I want them to watch the videos, and you have children and children are out there. And if we're talking about something like Black Panther, we know that you're going to play the video in the house with little Heru and, young Sekhmet watching it, little T'Challa, young Wakanda, You know, in a few years in kindergarten, they're gonna be like, "Yo, Wakanda Williams, uh, are you here?" They're gonna be taking attendance. Yo, Wakanda Rodriguez. They're gonna have variations of Wakanda. Um, you know, KK, yo, KK, you in the building? You know, black people are very creative with names and shit. So that Wakanda Forever thing is about to take a life of its own. Young T'Challa Adams, are you here? You know, so we just got to be I'm me personally. You know, I don't have to curse. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a vocabulary, I have a lexicon. I'm very passionate, and you know, I got a potty mouth. So when I'm passionate about things, I just get in my bag and whatnot. But it's embarrassing to watch videos with a child and you listen back to yourself and you're going super duper ham and whatnot. Like, you know, so I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill a little bit. Um, so yeah, they're definitely have it out for brothers and sisters that are in the community that are talking about topics that they deem to be off limits, and that would be the government. You know what I'm saying? The Trump administration. Remember, you can't be super critical of this administration. You have to be in line with what the media is speaking about. If you critique Trump and the administration, it has to be the narrative that MSNBC, CNN, all of the people, because they're playing the same game. They're all in the same circle. If you veer off from that and start going real crazy about what's going on, they'll remove your video. They'll flag your page and whatnot. So they removed the Brother Panic's video for the Black Panther review. But like I said, go on YouTube and put BP reviews. I don't know what the exact title is, but it's BP talks about BP. So that's short for Black Panther and whatnot. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, that Killmonger conversation, man. I see a lot of people on Facebook talking about Killmonger was right. That's a theme, that's a meme that's gaining a lot of steam online. I must have read about 6 or 7 well-written articles just in the last 2 days where people are like, "Oh shit, Killmonger, that's my hero. That's my guy." You know, he was right. When I think about it, he was talking about, you know, I'm Killmonger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, be careful with that. You know, be careful with that. You know, I definitely have identified many different elements of, you know, my being with the character. He's not a villain. He's an anti-hero. We have to be very, they calling him a supervillain. He's not a supervillain. He's what's known as an anti-hero. Spawn is an anti-hero. Lobo is an anti-hero. Logan is an anti-hero. The Suicide Squad, they're anti-heroes. The Watchmen, Mr. Comedy and all of them, Dr. Manhattan, anti-heroes. They don't fit the mold of what you know as a modern day hero. Well, I don't know. I mean, you got to remember, this is the conversation that goes back to the definition of what a terrorist is. One person's freedom fighter is another person's terrorist. I mean, it's all dealing with perspective. The Punisher is the Punisher is an anti-hero, right? We live in the age, Deadpool is an anti-hero. We live in the age of the archangel. We live in the age of the anti-hero. You mean to tell me that you exist in America? You mean to tell me that you exist in this modern day reality or this modern day world, and you just a shining example of an angel? That's what you're trying to explain to me? You're trying to tell me that you walk through this whole planet wearing all white in your angelic self with your halo, and you don't got no dirt on it? You don't got no dirt on your on your all white, you know what I'm saying? Wakanda outfit? I don't think so. You know, You're not going, you know, we're on a prison planet, meaning that our spirit is trapped in this human body, this husk, this mad limited. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it ages, it bleeds, the skin breaks, you can't fly, you're subdued by the laws of gravity and all of these other things. When you go to sleep, right? When you go into the astral realm, you're able to visit different dimensions, parallel universes, and you see that your body is flying. You're seeing that you're flying. You're walking through walls. You're falling off of cliffs. You know, when you sleep and, you know, when you're having that dream where you fall and you never hit the bottom, you hop out of your sleep like, oh shit. Like I sometimes I fall asleep on a train and then you hop out with the kick leg like, oh shit, I was falling off a fucking building. Oops. Gotta watch it. So we're trapped in this husk. This is an avatar. Remember the movie Avatar? Remember he downloaded Sully downloaded into the spacesuit, which was the blue Navi. Well, our higher selves or our higher spirits are downloading into these human husks when we decide to reincarnate or incarnate on this earthly plane. Our spirit is downloaded into a husk. This husk is made out of the material of the native planet, which is the earth. That's why when you die or when your spirit leaves your body, what does your husk do? If you're not buried in, even when you're buried in a casket, you decompose. You return to the land. If I was to make transition and you were to put my body in the woods, a tree might grow, right? I become compost. So our bodies are made up of stardust and all kind of other intricate things, but 70% water, and you know, it's made up of the elements of this earth. So we're restricted here. You know what I'm saying? This is not your home, okay? You're here for the experience. You're just visiting. As you saw in the movie when they went over into the ancestral realm, the movie was very heavily, you know, I mean, the ancestors were undefeated in the movie. The Black Panther movie did a lot for ancestor veneration. A lot of people are talking about a lot of things. I don't hear a lot of people speaking about the fact that it definitely introduced the concept of ancestor veneration to millions of Christians who never even understood what that concept meant. We're talking about the 85ers, you know, niggas that look like us, but are not necessarily us. The majority of those people who bought those tickets this weekend, you know, the proverbial choir, you know what I'm talking about? They were introduced to some very new concepts that might have even shooken their faith or shattered their faith, because the way that it was given to them, it was not forced upon them. It was not challenging their Christianity, but it was given to them in a way where they accepted it, right? So there's a conversation in this post Wakanda world that we live in right now. There's a small window that's open, as it is open on many different occasions, right? Where the opportunity for you, right? For you, who are the teacher, you are the you are the awakener, you are the enlightener. You were enlightened yourself, right? Your third eye is open, your pineal is activated. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It's time to appear, because I'm gonna share something with you. The students are ready. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they don't know what they're ready for, but it's a lot of people ready right now. I don't know who they are specifically, but go and look at the numbers of what Black Panther did this weekend. You know what I'm saying? They broke records. So it's a lot of people who are ready. You have to know the angle to approach them to give them more of this information. Because if it's one thing that our people walked out of that movie theater, it was hungry. The movie could have lasted another 2 hours. They would have stuck around for that. In the ending credits, it could have been like, yo, the sequel is coming out next week. They would have lined up for that. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's fantasy. That ain't real. Come on, fam. The concept of Kemet, which is not standing anymore. That's a fantasy in your mind. You don't know about the real Kemet. You're only speculating because you're visiting a graveyard right now. The concept of Moorish Spain that the Moors run around with, these elaborate stories about how we once ruled the golden era of the Moors, that's fantasy, meaning that not saying that it's not real, but you have the opportunity to tell any version of the story that you please. You could tweak that shit. You could introduce intricate characters. You could through CGI and you know what I mean? Whenever they present Egypt to us or Kemet to us, they give you a version of Kemet that they created in their minds. It's not necessarily 100% accurate because you were not there. You were not there. So this whole concept of what they're giving you with Wakanda and all of that, remember, I did a lecture. There's an article that came out on the news site called The Atlantic. I think it was In Too Deep where I showed the article and I went deeper into the article. And what the article was basically saying is the fact that fantasy and reality have been intricately, the lines have been blurred, especially in what is known as Western society, aka America. You know what I'm saying? The lines have been blurred. You don't know what is real. You don't know, not to say that you're dumb or you don't have the knowledge of what is real. You just can't conceive fantasy from fiction these days. You ever been to Comic-Con where everybody is cosplaying? That's what they'll say that we were doing this weekend when we went to the movie. We were not necessarily cosplaying. We were just getting back in touch with the culture. The thirst, the fact that everybody was adorned like this, it just goes to show you innately, meaning inside of one's DNA, they're waking up. This is a renaissance that we're living in. And it's not because of this movie. I'm not saying because of Black Panther, there's a renaissance. No, my Negroes. There's been a renaissance. There was the rumblings. There was the signs of a renaissance way before that. Whenever something is taking place, you have to live in the now. Everything is not taking place at once, and it's not taking place in a time period that this microwavable, instantaneous generation is so used to. You got to give it time. Time is the most valuable asset that we have. So throughout time, I'm recognizing that there's a mass awakening taking place akin to what took place during the Harlem Renaissance and even what took place during the golden era of, you know, the Black Panther, the Black Power movement in the 60s and then the 70s, coming out of Oakland, coming out of Chicago, coming out of Detroit. You feel me? And all of that, you know. So Get Out, right? The rise in, you know, consciousness going mainstream with the success of Hidden Colors. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. The success of Kendrick Lamar's efforts to Pimp a Butterfly. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way to Damn. You know, these are, you know, and I could go on for days, as many different other things, but these are the signs of a cultural movement. Remember, there is a culture war as we speak right now. There is a culture war in America. There's a culture war across seas. China, the Republic of China, the communist country of China, the Communist Republic of China, banned hip hop from their television stations. They banned Chinese people with tattoos from nationwide TV. Remember, they have state-sponsored TV. So, and they shut down their internet. They shut down some of they had a reality show on the internet, and they called hip hop dangerous to their internal affairs. They labeled it subversive. That is called a culture war. That is a strike in the culture war. They're at war with your culture, because right after that, during the Chinese New Year, they had a Chinese in blackface. You know what I'm saying? With a monkey, with somebody dressed up as a monkey, and they had a Chinese lady in blackface imitating an African, talking about, we love China, thank you, China, thank you, China. So they'll ridicule you on TV in blackface, but they're banning your culture from their country, calling it subversive and a threat to their national security. So how do you think they view Black Americans with the export, with all of, you know, with all of this hip hop that we're so proud about? They're looking at your music, they're looking at your culture as subversive to their agenda. And this is the superpower that's more powerful than America. So what that newscaster, what that broadcaster said about LeBron James, shut up and dribble, that's a part of the culture war. They're at war with the culture of hip hop. The Trump administration, alt-right, and all of these people, although you know that they love us, they hate us at the same time. And there's a culture war that's taking place in America right now because of the browning of America. What's the browning of America? The browning of America is the fact that a lot of these cave Beckys is giving birth to, you know what I'm saying? The LeVar Ball type of niggas. You know what I mean? The hybrids, the Drakes of the world. You know, there's what's called the browning of America. There's the browning of Europe taking place. The Africans are coming over there and they're ushering in a new dark age, AKA they piping down every single cave Becky from Sweden that they could catch up to. And they have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? They have a problem with that. They call it xenophobia. I call it the revisiting of something that took place centuries ago. The Reconquista, the Crusades, there's a Moorish, there's a medieval Moorish revisionist movement taking place everywhere that you go. I'm not going to get into all of the specifics about it. Go and review Melanin Mondays 3 and 4. We talked about it then. And also the Black women too. Yeah, the Caribbeans. Yeah, the Caribbean. The Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? You know, Usain Bolt and them niggas. The Jamaicans is all up in Europe, browning it out. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of these European women want to ride the pony. They used to go to the Caribbean and Africa for sex tourism. Then them niggas just start swimming over to Europe. It was like, yo, we gonna pull up. You know what I'm saying? You don't even gotta come to the country. We'll pull up to where you at. You know what I'm talking about? And even the African women, they're going to Europe to prostitute themselves. So they all up in Italy. You know, they all up in these same places where the rapists and the pillagers and the plunderers of all of these melanated countries live. So the prostitutes are coming to them, right? So there's a culture war. You have to be aware of the fact that there's a culture war. They cannot win a culture war because they don't have a culture. There's a low-key hating. They low-key just hating, right? When you think about it, like, how could you have a war with our culture when you don't even have a culture? Our culture is the most dominant culture in the world. You think they like that? You know what I'm talking about? You think that you think they're amused by that? You think that they're ready to relinquish their control over the hearts and minds of everybody around the world with their propaganda? What is their propaganda? Their propaganda is the same kind of mental programming that had the brothers and sisters who were so happy to adorn themselves in mud cloth, kente cloth. And for everybody who dressed up this weekend, I just want to say that you looked beautiful. I loved it. It did something for my heart. I was stuck on my phone. Like, I was on Instagram Explorer, just going through the Wakanda Forever hashtag. It damn near brought tears to my eyes. And, you know, there's your naysayers and people that's out there hating. Oh, they're taking advantage of Africa. Man, sit your ass down. You know what I mean? You can't please none of these Negroes out here who are just simply, we call them the disagreeables. They have what is known as disagreeable spirits. And you can never please a disagreeable. It's impossible. It's impossible. So, you know, who cares about what they say? You feel me? Nobody's paying attention to these Negroes. You know what I mean? They had Killmonger. These niggas is killjoy. They killing your joy. They don't want to see you shine. So the propaganda has basically poisoned the minds of African Americans to whereas we were ashamed to wear kente cloth. Niggas was ashamed to rock ankhs. We was ashamed of Ma'at. We was ashamed of Shango. We was ashamed of the, you know what I mean, of all of the indigenous motifs. This is an arrow. These are arrows. This comes from America. This is an obsidian arrowhead. This is what you would hit him right in the face with. You know what I'm saying? Right between the eyes. This is warrior. This is a scorpion, tiger's eye with some motherfucking arrows, my nigga. Like, when somebody sees this crown, this means, bro, we ready for war. I'm like Lupita in them right now. You don't know this, but my adversaries know this when I step out into the real world. I don't expect Negroes to know anything. And I'm not talking to y'all on the stream, of course. But this ain't for my people. When I step into the white world or amongst Europeans, they understand fully what's going on. Body language is 70% of communication. Nigga, I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, my outfit is talking. While y'all running around showing your breast and your ass, and you basically looking like a piece of meat to these Europeans, and black men wearing tight ass jeans showing your dirty underwear and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? All adorned in pink and whatnot, wearing, you know what I'm saying? You know, niggas is wearing lingerie. What do you think that's communicating to your oppressor? That you a plate of food. They're just ready to come and eat you up. They fetishing over you. There's nothing revolutionary about that. You don't get no points for that. We stepping out here looking like warriors. You understand? Because we at war on many different levels. Physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, economically. Ain't no time to play no games, man. So, you know, take a motherfucking take a cue from Lupita and the sisters in the movie that were trying to teach you something. Look how regal that they looked. Look how they were adorning themselves and they still were able to show their beauty. They still look liberated. They were standing shoulder and shoulder with royalty, with the king, with the warriors. You feel me? And they didn't look like prostitutes. They didn't look like cheap whores. You feel me? I don't know what kind of movement is going on out there where everybody thinks that that's the way to go, but we're not gonna find our place in civilization with our women running around looking like skanks. It's not working like that. You know what I mean? We got to pull ourselves back up. We're not going to go anywhere. You think if Wakanda had a bunch of Negroes looking like they was, you know what I'm saying, sweet? You think if Wakanda had a bunch of Negroes looking like they were asexual, where you couldn't determine whether they were sexually confused, that the shit would even look the same? I was looking at the city when they was walking through it. Nobody was switching. None of them Negroes was switching. Everybody back was straight, head up. So we got work to do. We got work to do. I haven't heard too many conversations about where we, you know, after the movie, what we trying to do, what we need to do. Maybe I'm not in the loop, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm not plugged in, but I haven't heard too many people internalize what's the next step. Not wait for the next movie premiere, not wait for the next, what's Ryan Coogler gonna, he's doing Creed Part 2. You niggas wait for that, okay? If you want to sit around and wait for the next movie to come out so you could dress up, you know, then you wait. But as a people, like I said earlier, a window was open. A window was open and, you know, the teacher, the students, yeah, they're ready, but you have to factor in what is it that the majority of Black people are, what are we ready for? Because, you know, the movie didn't answer too many of our problems. They didn't present solutions that you could walk away with and say, yo, I'm going to implement that. I mean, maybe you could go to Oakland and open up a Wakanda Center the way that they did at the end of the movie, and that's your solution. You know what I'm saying? I, for one, I would have loved to see the movie when my nigga Killmonger took over. I just wanted to see how it would look if he was in power for a few years. They didn't even let him bust a nut. They didn't even let him shoot his load. You know what I'm saying? They stopped they stopped them weapons from leaving Wakanda. They was like, we ain't even gonna feed that to your mentality, because the movies was ready for that. That's what the movie theater that I was in Harlem. That's where we brought the popcorn. We was ready for that right there. You know, so they bought the block at the end of the movie, buy the block. Shout out to Jay Morrison. If that's the solution that we're going to run with, that's what we need to do. This week, I saw a video where Drake handed out $1 million for his video in God's Plan. You had P. Diddy, who's known as the richest entertainer. He's been topping the Forbes list for 5 years. He running around with the Hollywood woke shit, right? He's on his Wakanda woke shit, right? He's like T'Challa and them, the elitists. He's P. Diddy. Remember that picture with the Rock brunch, the Rock Nation brunch with Jay-Z, P. Diddy, T.I., all of the rappers? That's T'Challa and the rest of the Wakandans. That's the elite. The ones who sat back and watched niggas get killed. The ones who sat back and watched our people suffer. The ones who sat back and watched everything go down while they isolated themselves in VIP, while they isolated themselves at the Rock Nation brunch, while they isolated themselves in Calabasas, Hollywood, while they isolated themselves in Beverly Hills, while they isolated themselves on Star Island, while they isolated themselves on Snapchat. You just see them niggas online. They're not in the hood. They're not on 2/5. They're not at the lectures. They're not with Killmonger. They're not chilling with Eric Killmonger and listening to what he has to say. They're not sitting down with the new thought leaders of this generation and trying to figure out what is it there to do. Because they had the resources the same way that Wakanda has the resources. Wakanda had the resources and they hoarded them. That's what T'Challa's father was doing. He was hoarding the resources. That's what the rappers are doing. That's what the athletes are doing. That's what the actors and the actresses and the wealthy bourgeoisie amongst the black people are doing. That's what they're doing. And I'm not indicting them. I'm just showing you the comparison. Killmonger, that's the UNIA, that's the NOI, that's the MSTA, that's the RBG, you know what I'm saying? That's the conscious community. That's the street Negroes, right? So the elites, don't ever get it right. Please don't ever get it mixed up. They want to do to what T'Challa did to Killmonger. They would rather a society where no Killmongers existed, because that will make their plans or them sitting at the table or being accepted at the United Nations a lot more easier, right? So that's what the movie is showing you. They're showing you they're showing you the two different worlds that exist. Like I said in my breakdown, I would see like T'Challa and all of them. They're what is known, they could be comparable to this new Hollywood consciousness movement. You know, Charlemagne, Angela Rye, you know, and that's no shot at nobody. They're just integrationalists. They're just conformists. They don't necessarily want to bang, bang, bang. They want to sit at the table and be comfortable and get served, you know, hot butter biscuits and potatoes right after Warren Buffett and them eat at the table. They want to get served at the table alongside, you know, their heroes of another race and whatnot. They don't necessarily want to call them out on the shit that they be doing. You know what I mean? They don't want no smoke with them, but they just want them to conform to, you know what I'm saying, to their, you know, just make me feel comfortable around you type of shit. Like, you know, don't go hard on me, just make me feel comfortable type shit. And there's a group of us that are like, I want to turn the table over and I want to dig their pockets and smack them up and hold them for ransom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really got no love for these people. And we're going to have a conversation. Who's going to push the envelope? Who's going to force the conversation? We got to sit down with our people and talk, bro. Like, we got to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? We got to get into that Rock Nation brunch, because those people who are labeled the elitists, they hold the keys. They got the vibranium. They got the bag. They have the resources. They could push. They could come together, right? With Diddy, with all of the resources that he has. Remember, he's at the top of the Forbes list. So is Jay. So is Dre, and all of these other people. They could put a something that's comparable to a Black Panther every 6 months. Go and look at the making of Black Panther. The majority of it was shot in Atlanta. When you see the behind the scenes of Black Panthers, all you seeing is blue screen all around them. They just got mad blue screen around them. Not even green screen. It's a lot of blue screen around them. So the majority of Wakanda, or that fantasy island, or that place that was imagined, was created via the computer, CGI. Shout out to all of my creators out there. Shout out to all of my graphic designers, all of my illustrators, everybody that's out there who knows how to do the kind of work, special effects that it would take to not only create a Wakanda. You could create any fucking thing that you want. You could create multiple universes and they could all be connected to each other, right? You don't ever have to worry about Hollywood ever again. You understand what I'm saying? We live in a new day and age. We live in a day and age of streaming. We live in a new day and age where you could get your movie on different screens and whatnot. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied into any of the major Hollywood studios. We could be these movies could be funded by these elites. These movies could be bankrolled by these elites who have to be shown the errors of their ways, the same way that Killmonger showed T'Challa the errors of his predecessor's ways. He bodied him. He damn near, he put his ass in a coma. He had to feel the pain. T'Challa felt the pain from Eric Killmonger. That woke him up. You understand? It woke him up. It opened up his eyes, and he was forced to now do something. That's why at the end of the movie, he's in Oakland buying the block. He's opening up a community center, which to me is that's very empty. That's like when these Negroes start charities and whatnot. That's not enough. Like, no, my niggas, that's not enough. You know, Black people they think they got time on their hands, so they play this patient game. They, oh, we got time, let them do the community center. In 50 years, these young children from Oakland, they'll be able, Black Girls Code, they'll be able to compete. There'll be diversity at Google. Sit your ass down, Negro. We don't got time for that. Fuck, what you talking about? You know what I'm talking about? What are you talking about? We need to, you know how far behind we are? If this was a race, you niggas is in a parking lot while they're running. If this was the Winter Olympics, you understand? You're not even on the fucking ice, my niggas. Like, what are you talking about? No, we have to have a more protracted approach to what it is that we have to do collectively. But them niggas in Wakanda, they need to wake up. And I don't know if the movie is going to be the catalyst to wake them up. They need to be talked to. There needs to be some kind of communication that needs to take place amongst Black Americans and Black Africans, or Africans from the continent and the Caribbean right now. Right now. We don't have to have it don't have to, you know what I mean? It's a simple talk. What can we do to help each other? How can we build? Africa's the plug. I don't know if y'all realize that. Africa's the plug. You know what I mean? Africa is definitely the plug. But like the movie showed, and it raised a very interesting question, are we ready to go over there and to initiate anything? Because remember, they showed you a broken motherless. Did they show Killmonger's mother? You saw his father. He was an orphan. His father got killed. Did they ever show his mama, though? They didn't even talk about his mama. They didn't even talk about his mama. His mama wasn't. She was not seen in the movie. So here we have a motherless child, broken, damaged. The nigga had a lot of he had a lot of baggage with him. Egotistical and arrogant. His pain and his hurt made him hurt others. Hurt people, hurt people. So when we go over there, are we gonna go and tear that shit up? Or are we going to heal? Because I don't think that we're in a position to talk about healing anybody at this point as a nation collectively, not the Negroes. Are we gonna go to Africa and heal them? You niggas are gonna go over there and do Reiki on the old woman in the village? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And for everybody that says that we're Native, we do have aspects of Native America. You niggas need to go to Peru and go and heal them. You're not gonna go to Peru and go and take that ayahuasca so you really know if you're connected to this land or whatnot. Go into the jungles of Peru and go and drink mama. Go and drink that plant. Go and get that medicine and that herb. You gotta go. Are you going to the Indian reservations and trying to heal them, or are you getting healing from them? You're not plugging into the land. The same thing goes for you niggas over here. It's that Wakanda story. What are you doing if you go amongst them, what are you doing to contribute to their society? Are you just gonna go, yo, we native to this land, we gonna go in Debo, we gonna take over, you're gonna do the Eric Killmonger, you're gonna choke the lady out and burn all of the herbs and whatnot, and assume that you're gonna snatch the throne like it's yours, and you're gonna look so foolish, not only to your ancestors, but to the rest of the world. Is that the way to do it? So I said it before, on 116th Street is known as Little Africa in New York City. Senegalese, they got it popping over there. They got all of these restaurants that they built up, stores. You know what I'm saying? The Senegalese, the Malians, you know, all of these different tribes who are our cousins, right? Our close cousins, maybe our first cousins, second cousins. You know, these are very ambitious, very loving, very caring, family-oriented brothers and sisters. I know them personally, the Africans who are in Harlem. I on 125th Street, over the decade or so of me being out there doing commerce, I've made some interesting relationships with a lot of the Africans out there. You know what I'm talking about? We need to start talking to them before we even go to the continent. We need to work on building a relationship and building some kind of trade and building some kind of rapport with those brothers and sisters. That's what we should be doing. Wherever you live at in your city or your state, I'm sure that you have a population of continental Africans, because that's how the UN works their deals out. When Exxon or the big corporations go to the continent and they take over the natural resources, they'll cut a deal with the village, or they'll cut a deal with some of the inhabitants of that land, where they'll ship over they'll grant a certain amount of visas, and they'll ship some of their people to different places in America. Like, they got Africans. I seen a special where they had sent some Sudanese to like Nebraska, an all white city in Nebraska. They was looking at these dudes like they were straight aliens. And that's what, you know, that's an option. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure in your city or your state, you got Africans. They might be Muslims and whatnot, like how they got in Dearborn, Detroit, or Dearborn, Michigan. They got all of the Muslims. The Arabs is all up in Dearborn. And they got other places where they got Koreans. Then they got other places where they got Libyans. They got other places where they got Syrians. So they send all of these different refugees all around America, you know, to these different states. So if you have Africans, and I'm not talking about Arabs, I'm talking about Africans from the continent, build with them. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about chasing the Nigerians for their checkbook. You know, I'm talking about some real building, like sitting down, breaking bread, eating with your hands, you know, learning about their city, about their country, and learning about what their country needs, not not what their country could give you, not how many gold mines or diamond. No, what does their country need? And you try to figure out if you could get the resources in America and bring it over there to help those people, because there's villages without water, there's people that need solar panels and all kind of other things, certain different technologies. So what's holding Black Americans or African Americans from doing that for our brothers and sisters on the continent? Because all you niggas is conveniently African, but you ain't doing nothing for Africa. You ain't even sending barrels to Africa. Fuck is you talking about? But y'all running around with this Africa shit all your lives, but you don't contribute nothing to Africa. They don't know about you overseas like that. So I'm not gonna entertain the divisionist conversation, because there's a divisionist conversation that is proliferating in the community as a result of this movie, where people are coming up with more reasons not to fuck with Africans. They're coming up with more reasons to distrust Africans. They're like, yo, did you see what they said in the movie? That we can't be trusted and the Africans are never gonna let us rule and da 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 da. Listen, have a seat. Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking movie, right? It's a movie. You know what I mean? And if you were to ask me, honestly, I would say no, niggas are not ready to lead. You're not ready to lead. You know what I'm saying? You're not ready to lead. You have not shown the ability, you know, or the we're not showing leadership qualities as a people. And I'm not talking about individuals. There's some leaders that are out there, individual wise. There's some powerful people and whatnot, but I mean collectively. I mean a demonstration where you could point out in the last 10 years where different groups have come together and unified and have completed a project or have done something that will be considered, you know, statesmanship. I didn't see it. You niggas point, let me know. You know, show me something that I might have missed. So before we do anything, we have to communicate. We have to communicate. Somebody said that you're Moorish, speak for yourself. What the fuck are you talking about? Speak for yourself about what? What is you talking about? Speak for myself. So we have to communicate with our brothers and sisters from the continent, not from a Killmonger standpoint, not from an arrogant, hateful, hurtful standpoint. You Moors that deny being African are ignorant and toxic to the community. Okay. All right. So I don't know what Moors that you may be referring to that deny being African, because all of the Moors that I know about talk about their ties to Africa. There were Moorish empires in Senegal, West Africa. One of the reasons why a lot of the West Africans got put into chains and sent over here is because of their affiliation with the Moors. Fucking genius. You understand? And one of the things that the Moors tried to teach a lot of the brothers and sisters in the community, and there's a large numbers of people in the community that took those teachings. Shout out to Raspy Rawls and a few other people. They understood that this land that we're standing on, called the American continent, was considered a part of Africa, called Northwest Amexem, another part of Africa. Case in point, when you go on Google, pieces of Africa found underneath Georgia, Florida, Alabama, you would come to the realization. And then when you go into the globe and you're able to put everything together like Lego pieces, you would also come to the conclusion that Africa was once attached to the continent of North America. You bird ass niggas. All right. So I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all niggas need to hit the books and do some studying and stop dick riding and parakeeting all of these conscious teachers that be out here spreading lies and propaganda and got shut down many times over the years. Okay? So the Moors bring information to tie both of the continents together, so Negroes stop trying to, because like I said, you so in love with the continent. Why haven't you gone over there yet? Where's your movement over there? Where's your nation? Where's your Wakanda over there? You niggas you had a lot of time to do some work. So go and Google Africa underneath Florida, Africa in Mississippi, Africa in Georgia, meaning that underneath the plates, under there, there's specific rocks, there's specific sediments, there's specific pieces of land that's native only to the African continent that's over here. There's certain plants, flora, there's certain kind of things, animals that you could find here that you could find in Africa. You bird ass niggas. Don't you know that panthers are not indigenous to Africa? It's in North America. That's the jaguar. And golden jaguar, who Killmonger was, that is the Native American. Do you know the Wakanda is the name of a Native American god? Stop trying to divide us. Stop coming with this European mentality that you have been miseducated with, that you don't know anything other than what these white teachers and your Boule master teachers or your Masonic teachers have taught you, because they're only teaching you what these white people taught them. Don't come to us with that. Learn how to bring things together. That's all I'm saying. Learn how to bring things together. Do a little more research. Keep your nose in the books a little while longer. Stay off of YouTube and do some studying and some books. Stop listening to different people and coming amongst us like you a goddamn parrot. You know what I'm saying? Or a parakeet. Nobody's interested in that. That shit been played out. All right? So there's been empires, like they brought up El Dorado in the movie. You understand what I'm saying? El Dorado is not on the continent. El Dorado is in the American continent. I mean, we could go on for days to show how there's empires over here, pyramids, older than pyramids on the continent. And I hope that gets on your nerves. You dig what I'm saying? Because you need to do some research. Mounds, pyramids, you know what I'm saying? All of the Kemetic stuff that they found in the Grand Canyon. Like, so anyway, that was, the way that the movie was able to tie in. But at the same time, the movie did kind of it kind of wedged the two things. They wedged the African Americans with the quote unquote Africans. There was a wedge that was driven even further. If we don't communicate, if we don't walk out of that movie theater with the urgency to have a sit down with our brothers and sisters from the continent and come up with a way to solve some of the underlying issues that we have, that's very apparent. The cat is out the bag. We know what you say about us. You know what I'm saying? And they know what we say about them. Right? And I'm not talking about, once again, I'm not talking about conscious people. If y'all get all personal and shit, I'm just talking about the 85ers, the majority of black people amongst us. What, how they feel about foreigners or Africans, and the ones who've been duped by Disney. Coincidentally, it's so funny that Disney is behind this movie, but Disney was one of the main proprietors with giving you the myth of Africa being a savage land, giving you the myth of Africa being a place where only cannibals were, giving you the myth of Africa being a barren land. Barren meaning that it did not yield any kind of riches. And we know all of that is false. We know that is completely false. That was Disney. Disney was doing that in the 30s and the 40s and whatnot, or whatever years they were in their heyday and whatnot. When Walt Disney was alive, they were coming out with the cartoons with the, you know what I mean, with the can. I used to watch Bugs Bunny, you know what I'm saying, with the African cannibals. I remember those cartoons. I remember those. You know what I'm saying? So we need to reach out. I don't know who the leaders are or the thought leaders are in the African community. I'm gonna start asking questions, but we need to reach out to them, and we definitely need to reach out to these elitists that are amongst us, these T'Challa, these Wakandans. You know, we got to sit down with them because they're trying to criminalize the Killmonger mind state. Look, based off of the programming that that movie gave, if they were to start knocking off black identity extremists, right? Because that's the code word for the Killmonger mentality. Black identity extremists, the black people who want to take over the world and kill whitey. You know what I mean? And that's the broad brush that they're painting the black identity extremists. We don't know what the term is, but please believe the Federal Bureau of Investigation is very invested in showing you who it is that they're talking about in the near future when they start identifying and labeling. They have one person right now that they have under the black identity extremist law, and that is the brother out of Texas from the Huey P. Gun Club, Huey P. Newton Gun Club. Huey P. Newton, who is the Black Panther, whose birthday coincidentally was on the 17th. I believe that was the day that the movie was released, right? From Oakland. So a brother who advocates Second Amendment, arming yourself. Remember, because the conversation around America is about guns right now and gun control, because the white supremacists, right? The ones, the white supremacists, the claws, you know what I'm saying? The open oppressor, you know what I mean? The ones that Killmonger was trying to wipe out, the ones that Killmonger wanted to enact revenge on, the ones that Killmonger wanted to achieve weaponry that was more supreme than the shit that they had. They killed Killmonger before he could wipe out the white supremacists. So the white supremacists is out here shooting schools up. It's amazing what they're doing with this young boy and this 17-year-old in Florida. Never have I seen the media get behind and try to switch the narrative and paint him as a troubled child who was a foster child when he's a white supremacist Trump supporter. He got the MAGA hat on. Nobody's talking about the group that he belonged to. Nobody's talking about who he's aligned with online. Nobody's talking about he got radicalized. Nobody is mentioning alt-right. Nobody's mentioning white supremacy. They're just having you cry this nigga a river, trying to speak to your heart chakra and make you feel sorry for this piece of crap who executed 17 innocent children. If he had my complexion, or if he was of Arab descent, he probably would have got lynched. A modern day lynching in America. They probably would have dragged him out of the courtroom and burned him like they did to our people in the Jim Crow era. And we just sitting back letting that fly. So this is the time. This is what's going on right now in your face. And nobody got nothing to say about it. This is who T'Challa was opposed to, right? So this is the mentality, like I said, for people who speak against that, for people who want to be, strong in their speech against a threat that we see this threatening our safety, our children's safety, our wives' safety. Because I tell you this. If the dollar fell tomorrow, if the economy crashed and this shit went haywire and it was declared martial law, them white identity extremists is gonna come and clean you niggas up. That's what they're waiting for. The fact that this stream is about to end, but I'm gonna recontinue it. We're gonna talk for about another 30 minutes. So when it ends, just get back on. If that was to happen, if anything was to go wrong in America and they had the opportunity, they're going to take it. They're preparing themselves, as you can see. They're not even waiting. They already putting points on the board. So they're trying to make anybody who wants to teach about that. They're trying to create anybody who opposes any of that an enemy to the United States, a threat. So that's the Killmonger mentality. My new name is Pillmonger, for the record. So a lot of people, especially a lot of black women, because like I said, whoever wrote this, Ryan Coogler, no, he directed it. Whoever the writer was, we need to do more research on those writers because they bodied that agenda. You know what I mean? They were very slick with their pen. They were able to create a complex conversation that had many different layers to it. And those layers should be peeled back like onions, you know, amongst what is known as the thought leaders of our community. And we have to examine that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the thing with Killmonger where they bodied the shit and they made him the villain, because I was calling him the anti-hero and I was calling him the arch, like an archangel. But theoretically, when you really look at it, he does qualify to be a villain because of his lawlessness. You know, he killed 3 black women in the movie. My nigga, that's a no-no. And this was a movie that empowered black women. So when they had him take the life of his girlfriend, who he sacrificed for the greater cause, you understand? Remember, he's a mercenary. And his mentality is to basically achieve the goal by any means necessary. He wasn't equipped with the kind of statesmanship or the integrity and the character of a king. Remember, when you groom a king, it's not the same as when you groom a mercenary. Kings and mercenaries are not the same. You understand? Many mercenaries who have become kings have become dictators, right? Look at Castro. Look at Mao Zedong. Look at what's my dude from Ho Chi Minh, right? They killed millions of their own people when they came into power. They had the Killmonger mentality. Castro cleansed Cuba, all right, of his opposition, of the ops. He sent a whole bunch of them to Miami on a boat, and he bodied. Mao Zedong killed 60 million Chinese. Go and Google it. You know what I'm saying? All of those Chinese citizens that were hooked on the dope as a result of the opium and whatnot, what the British were doing. He cleansed. He built the wall. He fortified the wall, and then he cleansed all of China from the traitors, the fuck boys. You know what I'm talking about? The people who were quote unquote homosexuals who were living deviant lives. They bodied them, headshots, firing squads. This is what Mao Zedong did. He had a Killmonger mentality. He was he was a soldier. He came into power and he took power and he corrupted it absolutely, right? That's what you probably would have seen when if Eric Killmonger took over. He would have committed mass genocide on what he perceived as his enemies. He would have went stir crazy with power. So I don't think that he was fit for rulership or kingship. And they're showing you the difference between mercenaries and kings. So Eric Killmonger didn't necessarily have the kind of training that T'Challa, who was the king, who was the heir apparent of Wakanda, had. So his mentality was completely different. He did not see women as sacred the same way that T'Challa saw women as sacred. He had a mission. He had a goal. He was a mercenary, which is a hired killer. You niggas running around wearing fatigues, you are mercenaries. If you're in law enforcement, you got a badge and a gun, you're a mercenary. You're not fit for kingship. You've killed women, you've killed children, and you killed men. You've killed elderly in the name of war. I'm not making this up. You know what I'm talking about. Not to say that, you know, kings go to war as well. Kings are warriors as well. There's kings that ride out and go in and body shit, but they're being groomed. They're being, they're people around them, the priesthood, their advisors, they're grooming them to be statesmen. To Killmonger, he didn't get his grooming, my niggas. You know what I'm saying? He was not groomed to be a statesman. He was basically more of a tyrant and a dictator, you know, probably mimicking his superiors, which would be generals, the president of the United States. You know, he had that law, that 48 laws of power mentality. He was operating off of that Greco-Roman 48 laws of power mentality, whereas our brother T'Challa was more rooted in the in African, you know, tradition. So when they had the brother Killmonger kill the divine principle, Mama or Set, I mean, he was an automatic write-off to the majority of black women. And if black women don't got your back, if black women ain't co-signing you, you know, I don't know, you're not going to get that far. You know what I'm saying? Especially in these days with this divine feminine energy on the planet. Like, you're not flying. You're not taking off, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're not takeoff. So as a result of that, they now put the revolutionary in a box. The real revolutionary of today, the one with the Killmonger mind state, because black women, right? Whether subliminally, subconsciously, or whatever, they fucking with the T'Challa mentality. They're fucking with the conformitists, integrationalists. You understand? Can't we all get along? Black Lives Matter. You know, the Rock Nation. They want niggas just to be at the Rock Nation brunch. Yo, take the picture with Jay-Z and them niggas like, we don't want no smoke. We don't want no problems. I don't blame them, because women are not equipped for warfare like that. You know, war is very bloody. It's very ugly. It's very dark. Shout out to Rich. You know what I mean? It's something that you would want to avoid at all costs. You know, our women understand that our men are not ready for war. We're not ready for war on any front with any other nation. They understand that it may be a slaughter. And the prize of war is the woman. It's called the booty of war, meaning that when you lose the war, nigga, you lose your woman. They're going to be raped. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be impregnated, and they're going to be used as servants, and they're going to be done dirty. This has happened all throughout time to nations that lost wars. Their women were basically, their women were absorbed into the society that won the war, right? So if your woman is watching you running around, you niggas is wearing purses and high heels, you know what I'm saying? And even the most gangster, you niggas is taking thumbs in your butt, you know, pause. Black China, shout out to Black China. You know, and they're assessing the strength. They're like, nah, this is, you know, this ain't gonna happen. This ain't it. Like, these niggas is not ready for it. So, and I'm not shooting. I'm not taking no shots at my sisters. I'm just making an analysis of some of the mentalities. I'm not on my Steve Harvey shit. I can't think like a woman, right? But I'm just making an assessment. If I'm incorrect, then you correct me. You feel me? Give me, you know, straighten it up. But that's how I see this. And the movie celebrated the fact that, you know, and like I said, I'm not mad at statesmanship. I'm not mad at royalty or you know, assuming the throne and whatnot, and you have, you know, you have this intricate, you have this whole society that's built around you that supports you, where everybody plays their part. Those sisters were all playing their part. His sister was the scientist. You had Lupita, she was the spy. You had the other sister from Walking Dead. She was the warrior, right? You know what I mean? So everybody was playing a part. You had Mama Offset. She was the queen, very very, you know, very regal in her nature. Then you had the healing lady with the plants and whatnot. You had the shaman, the healing lady and whatnot. She dealt with the plants, the herbalist. Oh yeah, she was the general, right? General Shuri. Then Forrest Whitaker was Zuri, right? So somebody said, what was the American black woman representation? She was the woman that got killed by the brother Killmonger. Remember, his girlfriend was the only black American woman that I saw, and he shot her for the greater cause. The greater cause was he had to kill Claw in order to get into Wakanda, right? So he bodied her. She was expendable. Okay? All right. So this is definitely a conversation that black men and women should have. You're not going to unconvince black women at this point. You're not going to convince them that the Eric Killmonger way is the way to go. They're not. I don't think that they're going for that right now. I don't think they're going for that right now. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody that's a mixture of both, I think. A little Killmonger and a little bit of T'Challa. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for, you know, they're looking for that perfect, that middle ground right there where, you know what I mean, where them niggas can have a seed, and it's like, you know, maybe if they two had a seed and the seed would be a perfect mixture of both of them. I don't know. But they're not rocking with that Killmonger mentality because of the way that the story was told. You know, remember, this was an Asaurian myth tale, meaning that it drew from the ancient story of Heru, or Set, and Asar. That was the story. You know, it's like the Lion King with Simba, Mufasa, Scar, and all of that. The evil uncle. You know what I mean? Set is the evil uncle. Heru is the son that's coming in the place of his father, who was the king, who's now deceased. He's in the underworld. He's in the ancestral realm, the same way that the king was in the ancestral realm, and T'Challa was able to go in the ancestral realm and talk to him, right? They revisited that story, you know. So I don't know too many women riding for Set. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know too many women that's banging for Set these days. Even though they love the energy, they love the aggression, they love the, you know what I mean? They love that, you know what I'm talking about? They was feeling all of that. But that nigga fucked up when he killed those women. You know what I'm saying? Like when he choked the lady out, that was it. I was in the movie theater. You should have heard. I did a quick spin and looked at the faces of the sisters. You saw they had the white paint. You know what I mean? Like Les Nubians. That shit started melting. They was getting hot. You know what I mean? The tears was coming down. You seen the face paint melting and whatnot. They was fucking up their kente cloth. So, you know, yeah, that was a, you know what I'm saying? That was an interesting twist, a twist on the story. But, you know, when you read all of the thought pieces from the magazines, like there's all of these online magazines, and they're really, you know what I mean? They're rooting for Killmonger, but they just like, yo, he needed some polishing. You feel me? He needed some grooming. He needed to be groomed to be more regal-like, to be more king-like, to be more statesman-like. You feel me? Nobody's rocking with all of that angry shit. Nobody's rocking with all of that fake nigga outrage. Nobody's rocking with broken niggas. You understand? Nobody's rocking with niggas with mommy and daddy issues that are unresolved, that are trying to come amongst the people like they're a fucking leader when they can't even lead themselves. They not rocking with that. Go and heal yourself, and then we can have the conversation. They not going for that because they can spot that shit a mile away. And what that's going to do, Killmonger was willing to risk the lives of millions of people just to motherfucking make himself feel good. He was ready to put all of Wakanda on a motherfucking chopping block, and all of the black countries and nations around the world. He was ready to sacrifice all of them because hurt people. He needed to be fixed, right? So the brother Ryan Coogler starts the movie out in Oakland in the 90s, right after Huey P. Newton gets executed. And the story or the archetype that he's talking about, the motherless, fatherless, broken orphan who's raised by the government to be a killer, a mercenary, and whatnot, and his whole fucking mind is messed up, and he wants to go back home and take it out on them. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? You know what I'm saying? If you can't see yourself in that mirror, then if you can't see yourself in that black mirror, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to wait for another movie to come out, a new release. Maybe that shit with Oprah in it might do it for you. Yeah, Hanuman is also Tahuti. Shout out to Bobby Hemmett, who taught us about Hanuman many, many moons ago. He used to talk about Hanuman real hard. You feel me? So it was interesting to see that. So, you know, man, it's a beautiful time to be alive. It's a wonderful time to be alive, right? You know what I mean? This is a great time in history. There's a reason why we all came back. There's a reason why we're all here right now. There's a reason why our pineal gland has been activated. There's a reason why we're not third eye blind. You feel me? It's a very beautiful time, you know, and you know, we have to take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Why did Killmonger kill himself instead of living in Wakanda in the end? He didn't want to be in bondage. He said, he hit you with that line that everybody's repeating. Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who chose death over bondage. You only live once, my G. You understand? You only live once. Once he realized that his ambitions, or once he realized that, you know, his purpose wasn't going to be fulfilled, it's time to go. It was time to go. You know what I'm saying? It was time to go. So yes, what a wonderful time to be melanated, but not just melanated. What a wonderful time to be melanated and awake or conscious, because it don't just pay to be a melanated. It just don't pay to walk around with all of this melanin, all of this potential, all of this power, all of this royalty inside of your DNA, and your ass ain't turn it on. It's like having a fucking Bugatti parked up and you swiping a Metro card every day. You jumping on the bus. You understand? To be activated, this is your world. Did Bobby Hemmett and the master teachers not tell us that we already won this shit? Did they not tell us that going all the way down the line, there's going to be a mass awakening, and that you're going to be some of the most important people on this planet? And did their prophecies not come true? Because everybody wants to talk to you now. Everybody is on your dick. Pause. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Everybody's interested in your conversation. Everybody wants to know what you think about things. It wasn't always like that. But you can't let that get to your head. You can't become a killmonger. You have to practice what is known as statesmanship. You have to focus more on integrity. You have to focus more on character. And I'm speaking to you, but I'm looking at myself. So I'm speaking to myself as well. I'm not above anybody. I have maturing to do. I have growing to do. I have all of the things to do to make me a better man in the now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to do. One of the beautiful things is we have social media at our fingertips now that wasn't available during Bobby Hemmett and Phil Valentine and Delbert Blair's era. This is a new era. We live in a digital age, or what is known as the light code transmission electrified age. That, you know how they had the Stone Ages and the Bronze Ages? Well, you have the digital light age now. You live in a different time. You're in the proverbial future. I spoke about the power of Afrofuturism on many occasions. Can you understand what I'm talking about now? Is it a little more clear now? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Afrofuturism. Can you get with it? Because if you can, you have the potential. If it's about money, because it can't be about money for me, because I've had money throughout all of my life. I know the man make the money, money don't make the man. Money is just resources. It's a tool. Like that little flower that they was drinking, the purple flower, it just gives you wings. You understand? It helps you do things. So if it's about money, you could be a multimillionaire in this day and age by practicing the art of Afrofuturism. Meaning you have to learn, or you have to get into the science of forecasting and telling your people's story of how they have a glorious future without anybody's permission. Put your mama on the throne. Put you on the throne. Put you in. You run the world if you want to. If your pen game is tight enough, because we definitely live in a time where the pen is way mightier than the sword. With a sword, because the sword is not just a sword that you swing. The sword is the word, SWORD. Shout out to A.A. Rashid. The sword is the word. The tongue is the sword. So the pen and the sword are both mighty in this era. Get on your writing game. Why don't we have writing clubs? Why don't we have writing workshops? Why don't enough of us come together with some love in our hearts and some creativity in our minds, right? And some food in our belly, because, you don't want to be hungry while you're creating, and maybe some weed in our system, and start coming up with some shit. Have we not studied enough? You know what I'm saying? Have we not been hitting the books enough? Have we not been immersing ourselves in this consciousness? We're drowning in consciousness. What are you going to create out of it? You're mining. You know how they be Bitcoin mining? Well, you've been mining. You've been digging into your mind. You've been going in and pulling out gemstones. You know what I mean? You've been extracting all of this wealth. When I sit down and write rhymes, I'm in my mind with the goddamn pitchfork, mining that shit. I'm breaking through all of the, you know what I'm saying? I'm going in deep, and I'm pulling up rhymes and words that rhyme and concepts and ideas. That's the same thing that we got to do with this Afrofuturism. It's in our hands. Don't look for the elders to do it. Don't look for the babies to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. You could do it on small budgets. Shit, we could go hard. We could do it on big budgets, because the conversation is over. Negroes can't ask, yo, Red Pill, what's the solution? The solution is you niggas pull up like y'all did for Black Panther and drop it like it's hot. 300 to 400 million this weekend. The answer is, when you niggas run around and do your marching and your protesting, pass the fucking bucket around. You'll pull 400. You might pull the same shit that you pulled this weekend at Black Panther, and with that bag or with that budget, you can now do things with that. Because niggas is in their feelings that Marvel and Disney have another billion to add to their 500 billion that they already have, and they're like, yo, what do we get? I'm saying we could work off of those numbers and just see that that we could create the same kind of numbers that we created this weekend. It wasn't the last $20 that you niggas had, right? You didn't spend your last. Everybody that went to the movies, it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It wasn't it wasn't the end of your check. You didn't spend your fucking tax refund to go and watch Black Panther. Maybe you spent it on your outfit, but everybody who saw the movie, according to what I know, they still getting money. So the shit didn't dry up. So the same people that went to the movie that dropped $10, $15, you niggas could drop $20 on your evolution and your solution and all of the questions that you asking about. What we gonna do for ourselves, master? Oh my goodness. Yeah, nigga, the power's in your hands. It's also in your pocketbook. So If there's any mass marching taking place within this year 2018, if you don't crowdfund, you niggas deserve everything that's coming to you. Like, you deserve to suffer because you're just straight up retarded beyond words. Like, you know, the level of retardation is just, you know, it's unparalleled at this point. Break the curse, man, of just sitting on this white man's lap. Break the curse of not being dependent on somebody else of another race to elevate you. Break the curse, man. Break that curse, bro. Get on your T'Challa. If that's what you need to motivate you, I'm in no position to tell you who you could be motivated by, or, you know, how you could find your motivation. You know what I'm talking about? If nigga, if you find your motivation in Batman, nigga, that's on you. Has anybody ever met Shango face to face? But I'm motivated by him. You understand? I'm motivated by him. Has anybody met Heru face to face? You ever sat down and had lunch with Heru? But the principles that the principles that Heru stands for, the Heru principles, the story, the mythos, I could vibrate with that. You know what I mean? That speaks to me. So I'm rolling with that. It's the same thing with T'Challa and Wakanda and Black Panther. Niggas spend thousands of dollars every year to go to Orlando, Florida to give it up to a mouse. Like, what are you talking to me about? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't understand the power of the imagination. Y'all don't understand the power of alternative universes. Y'all don't understand the power of, if you think about it and it has real estate in your mind, nigga, it's real. It's real. There's an alternative universe where Wakanda exists and everybody is chilling, playing the djembe, you know what I mean, wearing a kente, you know, and Lupita is married to Red Pill. Yeah, there's a reality where that exists. You know what I'm talking about? You know, I'll go rock with Angela Bassett if she doesn't get any older. Like, if you could just leave her right at that age, and in that alternative reality, she might take some pills to make her look a little younger too. I can go with that. But that's right. That these things exist. These things exist. We live in a quantum universe. You understand? We live in a quantum universe. The D-wave computer, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement. You know? Yeah, I like Lupita. Her skin was looking real moist in the movie. I ain't see no blemishes. Like, she was looking real. She looking like a snack. You dig? She was looking like a snack for real. She's looking like some dragon fruit. You know. So we're gonna have further conversations about this. You know, my brother is gonna do a decoding on Thursday in Atlanta. KT the Arts Degree, Blue Pill is down there, and I'm gonna try to make it down there. Yeah, brownie, right? She's looking like an almond butter brownie. You feel me? With kiwis on them. You know? Real good. I like that. So, you know, we're going to have further conversations. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm on a high note, you know. It's just a beautiful time. Come here. Come here, boy. It's my little, like, it's my little boy right here. You know, it's late night. Go to sleep. Why you up?
I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
I can't go to sleep because I already took it.
Oh yeah, you up. So you know, it's 3:00 where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we definitely had a powerful conversation. I appreciate everybody for being in the building. I love all of y'all. You feel me? And you know, It is what it is, man. Like we gonna be all right. Like Kendrick told you, we gonna be all right. You know, we just gotta stay focused. We gotta keep creating. Like I say all the time, shout out to the creators. You are some of the most important people on the planet right now, as we can see with the movie, because you got people who are not creators and they're hating on the creators. Oh, it's just a movie. Oh, what do they know? No, my nigga, they know that the creators run the world, nigga. You know what I'm saying? They know that the creators change realities. They know the creators are able to manipulate the narrative. They know that the pen is mightier than whatever sword you niggas say that you be swinging. So the creators need to be compensated. The creators need to be valued more. The creators need to be taken care of. They need to be appreciated. You feel me? They need to be protected. Okay? I don't know if anybody saw the video that I put up on my page, Phil T. Moreland, last week, where, you know, there was an agent who pulled up on 125th Street. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it was almost like he would, I mean, I stepped to him, you know what I'm saying? And he confessed that, you know, somebody sent them out there. You feel me? So shit real out here, you know what I'm talking about? But it is what it is, man. You know, we gonna build, you know what I'm saying? And I think we'll be doing something, I don't know, we might be doing something this week on Know the Ledge TV. But like I said, Blue is down south working with KT to get this project finished on Thursday and whatnot. Shout out to Cyrock and Soul Messiah. They have a powerful video that they're going to be premiering as well. They're going to be at the event in Atlanta at Atlantic Station on the 22nd. That shit is going to be lit. Like I said, I'm going to try my best to get down there and be a part of that and whatnot. And yeah, mental health awareness. That is another conversation that we are definitely going to have coming up very soon, because the mental health deterioration in the Black community is at an all-time high. People are losing their minds. And when people, and like the video that I put up there, the people, it's not just one thing about losing your mind. It's the fact that people who are mentally unstable can be used as a walk-in. They could be used as a Manchurian candidate. They could be used as a mass shooter. They could be used as a kamikaze. You understand what I'm saying? They could be used against people who are out here doing the work. So I don't want no crazy niggas around me. You feel me? Or they sisters. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want none of that. You know what I mean? I'm on high alert. So we got to talk about this. We have to have a conversation about, you know, how do you consume consciousness, or how do you consume information, or how do you, you know, what's the proper way to, you know, what's the proper diet when you're consuming all of this consciousness? Because you can't be watching some of these YouTube videos eating pork sandwiches. You feel me? You're doing yourself a disservice. You know what I mean? You can't be running around going in on these deeper levels of information smoking K2 or that Reggie that some of you niggas, that dirt that some of you niggas be smoking, all that seeds, and they be trying to pass me blunts to be exploded and shit. Nobody smokes seeds anymore, family. So, you know, and people be on other kind of drugs or pharmacopoeia, you know, psychotropics, you know what I mean? There's people that are on, you know, medication, they're on cocktails and whatnot, and they watching, you know what I mean? They watching like I don't, you know, they watching the videos, the conscious videos, you know what I'm saying? They're watching Tekashi 6ix9ine, you know what I mean? They're watching DJ Academics, they're watching, you know what I mean? They're watching the beefs, they're watching the debates, they're watching, you know what I'm saying, the hip hop, they're watching World Star. You know what I mean? Then they go to Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? Then they come to watch YouTube, and then they go crazy in the comment section because the niggas is lost. They minds is fried. They minds is fried. So that's creating mental health situations or issues in our community. I'm on 125th Street daily. I'm standing there looking at niggas like, yo, shit crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what's going on? I'm on the train. It used to be every 3 or 4 stops, somebody will come on, you know, and I don't got nothing against the homeless because, you know, we're living in a gentrified city. There's almost 50,000, 65,000 homeless people in New York City. So they all on the trains, you know, panhandling and whatnot. I'm talking about the mental patients though. You know what I mean? Like I be on the train every 10 minutes, there's a new mental patient popping up. Somebody talking to themselves, talking to a cup, you know what I mean? Wigging out, you know, all kind of crazy stuff. Walking Dead. It's reminding me of The Walking Dead. It's reminding me of Zombieland. Why do you think that movie is so popular? Why do you think that they're buying all of these guns? Why do you think that the Florida school shooter, you know what I'm saying? They're coming with this fake conversation that you should not follow about gun control. Don't fall for that. That's a waste of time and that's a distraction. They're never giving up their guns. They're even buying more guns as a result of the school shooting. They're buying more guns as a result of the fact that they keep saying gun control, gun control. It's a trigger. You don't know what a dog whistle is? It's a trigger. It triggers them to go and buy more. This is a consumer nation. White people have penis envy, and the gun is an extension of the phallus. Francis Cresswell, this is not a gun. It's just a charger. Francis Cress Welsing and a few other people told you about the mentality of the people that we're dealing with. Those long black guns that they love to hold, that's that long black phallus. You know what I'm saying? And they're not giving that up. That's the great equalizer. You know what I'm saying? That phallus is longer than yours, and that's the only thing that they have to protect them. So they're not giving that up. They're not giving that up. So don't ever fall. Don't even find just. Don't even like they're gonna be marching and whatnot. I'm not going. No, don't even fall for that. You know what I'm saying? Go and get your hammer. Go get your gun. You know what I mean? Protect yourself. We in a zombie land, bruh. And if, like I said, if the economy was to crash, or if anything was to take place where this thing would become unstabilized because it's hanging on by a thread. This whole society is hanging on by a thread. It's walking on eggshells. It is very unstable. So if anything was to tear that thread, the shit is going to turn upside down. Are you in a position to protect you and your family? Are you in a position to protect your food or any other the resources that you're going to need in order to survive? That's the mentality that I walk with. All you sisters that got them licenses, yeah, you need to holler at your boy. If shit go down, think about me. I'm gonna need, let's take this shit to Wakanda. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, I'll be T'Challa with a whole bunch of sisters around me clapping. You know, but it is what it is. You know, it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been fun. You know, we're gonna get back to the people very, very soon. You know what I'm saying? Very, very soon. You know, and that's what it is. You want to say goodnight?
Oh, damn. It is.
Yeah, I gotta go. My son said my son, it's 3 a.m. He wants to go to sleep. So, you know, I'm out. All right. Love and light to the family. Sign up to the Patreon. You know what I mean? If you haven't already, salute to everybody who is a Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is a platform where creatives such as myself and other people are able to be patronized by the people so we can continue doing what it is that we do. You know, working on the creativeness, whether it's the music, whether it's film, whether it's lectures, whether it's research, whatever it is. Shout out to all of the patrons who have signed up and got behind us and have helped to make things possible. You are very important, and I respect you highly for that, because you could be doing anything else. So that means that you believe in us, or believe in what it is that we're doing. And as a result of believing in us and having faith in us, we're able to function at a better, faster pace. All right. So with that being said, love and light to the family. I look forward to building with y'all again. All right. Peace and love. One.